Today, we're going to talk about temperature and how you can use it to make things pop right out of your painting. So I'm getting my usual colors out. Titanium white, all golden acrylics, yay. A little phthalo blue. I'm trying to put them where you can see. Green shade. I like the phthalo blue green shade. I think it's what the golden people recommended to mix the biggest variety of colors. A little quinacridone magenta. And I'm not gonna try to even say it. Yes, I am. Benzodiazolone yellow medium. Thank you, golden people. That was fun to try to say. Right? Okay. So let's mix up some paint. I've painted the background blue just so it'll be easier to see. So I'm gonna mix just a neutral kind of gray off-white. Well, I'm gonna try. I'm using all three colors, trying to get sort of balanced. Okay, so we got sort of just an off-white just to get started. These paints are the best. But the blue is the strongest. It has so much, I don't know if it's so much pigment or just so much staining power, but ooh. Okay, so let's make sure you can see this. Yes, I just hit my head. Okay, so over here, we're gonna just paint, let's say we're gonna paint a window. Like a New York. Window. Let's make. There'd probably be some molding and stuff. And then another. We're gonna keep it loosey-goosey. There's some inside. Okay, and let's do, the divider thing. What's that called? Anybody know? Okay, and then let's put, just to make it interesting, let's put an orangey kind of curtain behind. I always like to use all three colors, no matter what color I'm mixing, unless I'm doing like an extreme highlight, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's a blue building into a New York apartment. And for some reason, so one of my most amazing art teachers said, if you don't know where the light source is, I have no idea why this is the case, to imagine it's coming from the upper left. And, that seemed to be the case. Okay, so let's imagine there's a shadow on this curtain created by, most of the times you'd think you just make a darker, most people just use black and tint. I mean, not tint, and shade the color and make it darker for the shadow, which would look something like this. Not dark enough. I gotta have massive contrast for you guys to be able to see it. So the shade might I'm gonna fall like this. And maybe there'd be some underneath this little bar. And maybe on this side. And that's fine. But watch what happens when you, so temperature means changing the temperature. And it's all relative. Like orange is warmer than blue. And that's why it's making it pop. So watch what happens when you add a bunch of blue, you add the color's complement or its opposite, and it changes the temperature. So this orange was kind of warm, and now I'm gonna make it kind of cool because I added a bunch of blue. See how it gives it a little more depth? Can y'all see that, or am I imagining that? Okay. Now, let's do the same thing. So we've got the frame around the window. And see how it's kind of warm? This color is, it's kind of a warm gray. So let's make it a little bit cooler. We're gonna add some blue. So it's sort of the same base color, but I'm just gonna make it a little bit cooler. And I like to use all three to keep it from being too bright. Okay, so the shadow might be here. And here. And, oh, this is gonna be even darker. And here. Now, I might have needed to let things dry a little more, but I'm not a patient person. This is why I use acrylics. There also might be a little shadow just inside the window. And sometimes this phthalo blue, oh, it's such a good shadow color. I think I've had too much caffeine today. My hand's a little shaky. Let's go over this one and make it even bluer. But do you see how it's already kind of, all right, let's do one in here, just on the inside of that. Where would that go? I have some incense burning. That's why you can see smoke wafting by. Okay, and I think this one would go down here a little bit. Okay, now here comes the fun part. So to make this really pop, see how it's kind of warm and neutrally? And it's next to this cool blue. So you can kind of go either way with temperature. I'm gonna make the highlight really hot. And I'm not gonna use all three. This is one of the times. So I'm gonna use just a teeny bit of the yellow and the red and a ton of white. So it's really, 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 really a tinted, very pure kind of orange color. But watch what it does when you put the highlight right along that edge. See how it's like jumping out at you? Let's do it along here. Because it's right next to this blue. And I think there's a little in here. And let's do it up here. It's easy to get carried away, but who cares? Have fun. Get carried away. Don't overthink it. And I think that it might even be like a step down kind of shadow. Oh, and we can't forget this. This would have a highlight on it. So right now you've got this shadow color, then the neutrally kind of, you know, divider thing. And then watch what this does. You see the pop? And I'm wondering, is this whole thing in shadow? And there might even be, I can't tell if this sticks out or not. There might even be like a, shadows kind of go around, you know, like the sides. Or maybe we can do something under here. And then like if these things stuck out, you would have a shadow under this thing. And see how this is a warmer, deeper blue than this? So it gives it, start paying attention, start walking around and just looking at shadows, because there's a lot of color in them. And you can tell, like, in the hot desert, shadows are more blue because the light is more orange. You can tell the quality of the light based on the color the shadow that is cast is. So an orange light will make a more blue shadow. It's why those, like, you know, out west cowboy paintings, they have really blue shadows, and you know, you can feel that it's hot. And then like in a cool kind of more purple winter light, the shadows are going to be a little more yellow. So is that helpful? And so let's say you think the curtains don't pop enough. Well, let's change the temperature. Or we can also, let's see. Isn't color fabulous and fun? But you can do this with any object, and you can exaggerate your colors, you know what I mean? Like if you want it to be dramatic and feel like you're out in the desert, put more blue. Make the shadows long. So thank you for watching. I hope that helped you kind of understand temperature. Follow along if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button. Sorry, learning all about this stuff. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments, or any suggestions. And we've got more tips, tutorials, classes and stuff, and I hope you can join us.